Hello and welcome to the daily study of the Way of Mastery. Today we continue with Lesson 1, The Way That Calls You Home, Section 2, The First Step in Awakening. And we're going to read paragraphs 21 and 22. So Jeshua says, "If you were a gardener, would you not cultivate the art of weeding your garden? Would you not look to see that the soil is just the correct dampness? Would you not keep your eye on the clouds on the horizon in the heat of the day? Would you not cover the delicate plants that need protection while they grow strong? And if those that would come would not respect your garden, would you not ask them to leave, or build a temporary fence until the garden is strong enough, until it bursts forth with enough fruit so that you can give to even those who do not respect it?" So such a simple and beautiful analogy that we can all relate to about gardening, right? Like if you had a garden and it was just something that you loved, how would you take care of it? You would weed it. You would make sure that the soil was exactly how it needs to be for optimum growth conditions. You would keep an eye on the weather. You would protect the plants if they needed some more strength, whether it be a little stake in the ground that they can wrap around or putting shade over at certain times of the day. And if somebody came in there and tried to trample on your garden, you would ask them to leave. You would ask them not to do that. Like Jeshua says, you might put a little fence around until the plants are so bursting forth that it didn't matter what anyone did when they came in. It was just like these giant apple trees, let's say. If they're little saplings, people can come in and step on them and kill them. But if they're big, giant trees, people can't really do much damage to them if they're just walking around. But the important part there is that Jeshua is saying having boundaries with people, being clear with people of what's acceptable and not acceptable for you is loving yourself. So often we don't want to be clear and have boundaries with other people because we're afraid that they might get mad at us, that they won't like us. We try to please. We try to not step on anybody's toes and really be polite, but we're not super clear with someone. Right? When you're setting boundaries, you don't have to be angry, be like, "Hey, you can't do that. Why are you doing that? Don't disrespect me." It can be it's about what's happening inside of you. If you are so clear, again, because you love yourself, you respect yourself, and you know what works for you and what doesn't. If you're so clear inside of yourself, you just simply make a declaration. "Excuse me, this doesn't work. Thank you. Excuse me, you can't come into my garden. Thank you." And how they receive it and how they react or respond, that's not really your business. That's about them. So boundaries is so self-loving. And then Jeshua says, "Be you therefore a wise gardener. Cultivate a deep love and respect for yourself, for you are not here to fix the world. You are not here to fix your brother or sister. It is only love that heals. And until you have loved yourself wholly by having purified the mind of every erroneous thought you have ever held, until you have loved yourself, you do not in truth love anyone or anything, save in those brief moments when you let your guard down and the love of God shines forth through you so quickly you do not even know what happened. The wise gardener cultivates a state of consciousness in which the love of God is unimpeded." And Jeshua continues with this idea of cultivating a deep love and respect for yourself. You're not here to fix the world because the world's not broken. People don't need fixing. They're not broken. Elevate your perspective that each of us are souls that are here to learn, and each of us have our own curriculum and our own classes that we're taking. And some of us take the same, think about analogy as school. Some of us are in the same classes, but we might be relating to the material differently. You might be a little bit ahead of me, so to speak, in the text, and I might be a little behind. I might need a little bit of extra help. You might be in a little bit more of the advanced classes, but we're still in the same general class and we're still studying the same major. But then there's other people with a whole different major and interest and classes and professors and peers, right? So no one's broken. Everybody is here experiencing what their soul is choosing to experience for their highest growth. And if we see it from that context, we can't take anything personally, right? Everybody's different and it's okay. No one's broken. If somebody's going through something really challenging, that's their class that they chose. Maybe they chose the PhD class. And then to compare ourselves to somebody else, oh, look, they have such an easy life. Well, maybe they chose an easy class this lifetime because they've had some really tough ones that they wanted a little bit of a break. They want the easy class. So to compare our path to somebody else's is silly. And to try and fix the world is not broken. It's a perfect mirror for where we're at and what we need. And Jeshua says this beautiful line that's repeated over and over, it's only love that heals. And until you've loved yourself wholly, by having purified the mind of every erroneous thought you ever held, until you've loved yourself, you do not in truth love anyone or anything. So the love must start with the self, the capital S self, the soul self. And how do we purify the erroneous thoughts? Jeshua definitely gives us some tools here, but we look at them. We use our daily life. We use our upsets and our triggers. We use the places where we get stuck or we feel resistance or we feel limited. That's how much life loves us. It's bringing those. It's giving us experiences that will bring those they're just misunderstandings that we're really focused on. Like the belief in separation is not a truth. It's just we're focused so much on it. It's just a tiny mad idea that we focus on, which creates our experience. So these thoughts of limitation, these thoughts of beliefs of lack, of unworthiness, of not enough, of I'm not lovable, if I have to do X, Y, and Z before I can love myself and feel happy and be at peace. All of these erroneous thoughts, that's the purification. And every time we identify one of these and we open our heart and love ourselves, simply through the intention to love, like how do you love yourself? You want to. You want to love yourself more than you want to be in fear. You want to identify as a soul, as spirit, as a child of the divine, as perfect, whole, innocent, always connected, abundant, powerful. You want to identify as what you are more than you want to identify as separate. And for many of us, we've just been, it's just habit of where we've placed our attention. We're just so used to identifying with the small self that in like a weird way, it's comfortable. It's like the pain I know is more comfortable than risking the unknown, which could be a pain that I don't know, a discomfort that I don't know. I'd rather have the discomfort and pain that I know and kind of manage and cope it than risk letting it go for something else that might be even more painful. That's how our ego thinks. That's how our pain, that part of us that's like clinging to the old thinks. Where Jeshua lovingly, patiently is encouraging us to let it go. That there is another way to see and to know ourselves that is beautiful and whole and expansive and abundant and creative and all the things. So this analogy, think about this analogy of you are your own garden. Tend to yourself. Love yourself. See how beautiful you are. See how things don't just happen overnight necessarily in the garden, right? Through love and cultivation and attention, the garden blooms and blossoms until, as Jeshua says, it bursts forth with enough fruit so that you can give even to those who don't respect it. So sometimes in the beginning, we really need strong boundaries to kind of protect ourselves in a way. And then as we burst forth with love, we realize we don't need protection. We realize that somebody trying to stamp on our boundaries has nothing to do with us and all to do with them, and we just stay in the expansive, abundant, generous loving, while we can always take care of ourselves. So a lot of just empowerment here, beauty here, love here. We're coming down the home stretch in this lesson 1, a few more days. There's a reason we're going slow and repeating the same ideas over and over and over again. Little bites, so to speak, over and over and over again. Repetition. I love you. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.